Basketball Jones. I got a basketball Jones. I got a basketball Jones. Ooh, baby. Ooh.
Cohn is in the building.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
What time is it? Sloan in the corner for the win! Oh!
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Now Myers to win the league, yes!
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Stand and
Who else really trying to fuck with Hollywood Cole?
Well, hello and welcome to the Below the Rim Show, a show dedicated to the BBL. It's me, Pabs. As always, I'm joined by my main man, Ads. How are you, sir?
Why are you speaking so quickly?
Because we've a special returning member of the team, and he's only here for half an hour, so we've got to try and rattle through it. Grant, my man, how you doing?
I'm not returning, but I'm good.
No,
I'm getting brave-hearted. Where's that how quick we're doing it, Ads?
The brave-hearted
Secondary
Mr. Grant Young, apologies. Yeah. Oh, and secured for fourth. We'll talk about that in a minute. And joining us after a long hiatus, he's big time now, and he wears those big suits and that and shit like that. The Focus Hoops man himself, he's always focusing on the hoops. Mr. Josh Bett, how are you, sir?
I'm enjoying a curry that I just cooked last night. My wife loved it. It's got prawns, lamb and spice, and everything nice.
So now you're a trainee retail manager. Do you get a discount at Tesco's?
Now he's Jamie Oliver.
I like that one. Fellas, I've missed you guys, but I've been listening to the show every week.
You enjoying it?
Love it. I love how Paul Nicholson once said that I fit into the suits but have trouble fitting out of them. And then I love the one episode where Adam said that London Lions are spending all their money on my suits. Listen, dude, I can only afford Primark, right? Only Primark. But I will boast happily, one of my suits was made by my sister-in-law in Hoi An in Vietnam. I got that one on a family discount. But Primark is the only thing I seem to fit in these days.
Well, there you are. Well, that's not too bad. Primark don't make stuff for normal-sized people. I don't think I've shopped in Primark for 5 years maybe.
Oh,
I've got taller, man.
They got baggy shorts in at the moment, Pabs, and they fit a treat.
Not in our one, they haven't. They go up to medium at the moment. Those hideous, but I love them. The Miami Dolphins ones that look like Charlotte Hornets stripy shorts. Yeah, anyway. Right, we've got plenty to get on with tonight. We'll talk about the races for 4th, 2nd and 8th. One of those is sewn up. The rest are not. We will try and finalise how we think the league's going to finish, and then based on that, look at some playoff matchups and talk about what we think along those lines. Bit of BTR5. We're going to do Cohn v Sloan, which, in my opinion, they should hit the WWE ring for that one just to finish it off, see how that goes. And then we've got a bit of a plug for the BBL, which Joe Edwards has asked me to mention. Predictions and the quiz, which is going to be more fun because I've created a new source of statistical information because I didn't want the guys to have any opportunity to revise. So I've made it harder. I've moved the goalposts. But let's start off with Mr. Grant Young and 4th in the bag, apparently. So the Caledonia Gladiators will finish 4th and no higher, but no lower, which is great. Isn't that good, Grant?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I suppose it's what the team would have wanted. A home game in the playoffs, a wee trophy win, and yeah, delighted, I suppose. It was a bit of one of those ones where we're playing Surrey. They've made their changes with Martin leaving, and we're kind of on a roll, and it was... Yeah,
well, I want to talk to you about that, because you were arguing that actually that makes them better.
What do you mean?
That makes them better.
Being on the roll or being at home?
Sorry, losing Martin.
Oh, I jealous. 100%. Boban Jack Dommy's able to play some minutes.
What the hell did you put in your coffee this morning, man?
Oh, honest, Josh, this is what I've been needing all week, man. I'm so glad you're on this tonight.
Surrey Scorchers are a better team without Ryan Martin. Can we please press the reset on this Zoom in? Explain to me why you think that, please. I'm having calling the God, by the way. But please explain to me. Go ahead.
I think I'm with him, to be honest with you.
Yes, Pablo. So, I just think they play a better space team. Like, what is Ryan Martin going to be? Is he trying to be a 4-man? Is he trying to be the 5-man? Is he trying to be a point forward? He tries to do too much. You've got Aaron. You've got Andrew Lawrence, you've got Paddy Wang, you've got Boban Jack Domi, who's been massively underused. You've got, who else have they got? Charleston Dobbs, you've got Shackham Johnson, who can get up. And I just feel as if they've had too many pieces to the jigsaw and they've all been trying to work around Ryan Martin. And I don't think they needed to.
He's missed some big shots at key times as well.
Is the corner?
Josh has got nothing. He's got Cohn on the cob going on in his mush right now.
No, Pabs, you agree with him. I want to hear your perspective. Keep going. I'm listening. Please keep going. I'm not convinced.
Well, I'm looking up some. I'm not cheating, but I'm looking up some stats because
don't look up anything. You agree with him. Just tell me why you think that.
I do, but I just want to make sure I'm not going to say something that's incorrect. Because I'm of the understanding that the guy's missed some pretty big shots and hasn't shot the three ball very well.
You don't need to bring up stats. So you're a bit generalize it like Grant did. Grant made some.
All right, he makes lots of big shots from the outside. He doesn't make them in key opportunities. They've lost 2 or 3 games that have been late on that they could have gone either way, and instead of moving the ball, they've got it to him and he's jacked up a 3. He's almost like a stop point. So the ball be moving around, it'll hit him, he'll chuck it up.
Absolutely. I just don't feel like he kind of doesn't fit in the offense they want to do.
He's a very, very good player, but he's like Grant said, in trying to do too much. It's almost like Ovi that first season with London. It was almost like he wasn't as much as an asset as we thought he was going to be because he started taking the ball up and doing all sorts of stuff he doesn't normally do. And that's, I think from that perspective, there's more potential there for him to move the ball and be more effective. But you think differently.
Yeah, because I'm absolutely. First of all, we all know my close relationship with Surrey. Okay, well, this goes to when I was even 16 years old, when the Thames Valley Tigers folded, and out came the Guildford Heat. So I'm very connected with the Surrey. Now, it doesn't mean I'm a Surrey Scorchers diehard fan. Mixing up 2 sports, one with a basketball, the other one with a stick on an ice rink. But the point I'm trying to make is this: is that I am almost like a Surrey. It's in my DNA, if you know what I mean. So every season, when Paul James was there with Brian Dukes, Chad McKnight, and Mike Martin, God bless his soul, he's recovering obviously from his illness, that he's good. And shout out to Mike Martin, to Creon roughed up. It's a very good friend of mine. He lives a few blocks down the road from me. To the only time I was very distant with the club is when they had Jack Majeski running the show under Surrey United. The only good thing that came from that era was LVC Dusha was given the platform to write. Back to the Creon days, to now Lloyd Gardner, who's practically family to me because, close relationship with my father. The point is, I've thoroughly enjoyed, and I've kept quiet because the one thing I do not want to do is, especially as a person who commentates basketball at the international level, is to come across as a know-it-all. I already do that enough. I know there's a very mixed opinion about me, but I don't want to cause enough controversy, from the fake American accent. Shout out to Pete Walmsley. I love the guy to bits. He's brilliant. But the point is, I've thoroughly enjoyed reading the criticism and the comments that fans rightfully have the right to do so towards Surrey. But let's get one thing straight, okay? It has been a poor season because that team, and this is fact, not fiction, has been depleted through chronic injuries. And it's very easy to pinpoint players who should be go-to players. There is expectation on Ryan Martin to come and play because he played played NCAA Division I. He's played pro at certain levels in Europe, and he played for the Lions last year. However, this team has been discombobulated because they have been depleted. It's been a tough season. And I reiterate, having seen this team play every week, having seen them train, being very close to the guys, had they not had any injury issues, they would have been a playoff seed. Goes back to the whole debate that I had with Drew Laskett when, he made the point on February 19th that if Surrey can't defeat a depleted Plymouth team, who can it defeat? The depleted team is not Plymouth. Plymouth had issues this year with personnel. They've had to adapt. They've got the players who were causing problems within the camp out of the club, and they bought new players, and they've had to start from scratch. That's not depleted. Depleted is when you're losing players from injury. Depleted is when you've got certain positions that you're lacking, right? Grant, there's one valid point you made there, is that maybe with Ryan's – well, there's maybe half a valid point. But the point is, Boban, yes, in my mind, is a good player. but Boban hasn't consistently delivered it when he's on the court. Now, that's down to a few things. It's not down to him necessarily as a player, because, what I see in Boban Jack Domi is a guy who relentlessly tries to work his socks off and to cement himself in the low block. He doesn't always get the ball, but sometimes he finds himself out of position. Ryan Martin, his job is to be a three-point shooting big man, and at times to put the ball on the floor and get to the basket. He is not that kind of back-down player, but they have had huge success under him. Again, you can't pinpoint their losses and them not playing team basketball due to him as well. But he is a prime-time experienced professional. Losing him, the season's over. I think he's gone, to Venezuela right now, I think it is. So it's a good chance for him, but it's also a good chance for the club to get through these final games and to move on. But to insinuate they're playing team basketball, Grant, come on, man. What have you been? You've been eating too much haggis.
Well, I think we're looking at the last 2 or 3 games he played in where he only scored like 4 points, 2 points, and didn't shoot the 3 ball very well. But I think that's essentially what it comes down to.
But I could also say to you that their most talented player is Padit Wang. But there's, Padit Wang is a fantastic player.
I like
Padit
Shaquem
Wang,
Johnson, man. I think he's a talent as well.
Shaquem Johnson is a very good intangible player. What he's improved on this year is obviously his mid-range shooting. He came into this club, it was very much get second chances, get as many rebounds. He does a good job of that. But again, Shaquem Johnson, what he doesn't offer, what Ryan offers, is a more scoring threat, of course. Boban's very back to the basket. What Ryan Martin was able to do was able to stretch defense, bring bigs away from the basket. And at times that worked. But again, it's so easy for us to critique Surrey, but they've been depleted all season. And again, you go into games, how many point guards have they had in this team so far this season? I mean, they've had 2 Americans that come in and out, and Jalen Ray's been injured all year. Andrew Lawrence is still dealing with certain injuries. Andrew Lawrence has recovered from a pulmonary embolism. He's recovered from a torn meniscus. Was it an Achilles last year that he injured? That was pretty bad. This is a team that literally has had to turn up to games with certain positions not there. At times, Padit Wang has had to play point guard for him. He's not a point guard. Yeah. Next, let's go. Roll on next one. Unless Adam's got something to say. I've got 2 more calls on the card. 3 actually.
Well, fourth. The gist of that was that fourth is in the bag. We sidetracked slightly. Ads, my man, you gutted about that because obviously Giants were hanging in the balance for that 4th spot, and now it's out of reach.
I'm not gutted about it at all, to be honest. And the reason I'm not...
Is that because you're going to be 6th or maybe 7th?
Huh?
Is that because you're going to be 6th or 7th?
We'll talk about that in a minute, but yeah, they're 7th at the moment.
Pretty much. I mean, we haven't won a game for 5 games.
Yeah. Shit, has it been that long?
Yeah. It's possibly 6, actually, but obviously it only goes back 5 on the website.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, we haven't won a game in 5 games. Now, the way I look at it is this, that we took Leicester to the brink last night. We perhaps should have put them away because at one point I think we were about 15, 20 points up. But that's kind of a bit of a norm for the Giants this season. They get out to these good leads against good teams, and it's great. And then in the 3rd quarter, teams start to close them down a little bit. That's not unusual. But last night, at the end of the game, they gave Leicester a run. Now I'm thinking, but the point I'm getting to is that they're due to win a game. So by the kind of law of averages, you're thinking, right, we've got Surrey this weekend, and that's the last regular season game. Hopefully that's going to be 2 points in the bag. And then that would make us finish in hopefully 6th, provided Sheffield lose, which would then mean we would play.
Well, we'll look at matchups in a bit, but that's your reason. Like you'd like the matchup opportunities from that position.
Adam. But why do Giants keep losing games that they shouldn't lose? Why?
Why? I'll tell you why. Because they've been depleted with injuries all season. I was going to get to it at some point, but here it is.
Are you sure?
Let's talk about. No. Am I sure? Am I sure?
Hold on.
Whoa.
Let's go. You asked him a question.
No. Let him go first.
Scoring team in the BBL. They're not depleted. They're the best scoring team in the BBL.
Right. And they've also played half the season without one of the best players in the BBL, and William Lee.
Well, he was a front runner for
MVP. In the BBL.
Who? Huh?
Well,
I didn't say the best. I said one of the best players in the BBL.
Think how good they could have been.
They are the best scoring team in the BBL.
And we've now lost legend Robertson, and we're going to need a big guy in the playoffs. Young Nathan Robinson's been out a lot of the year. And at one point, we were playing off 8 players. That's depleted.
Still the best scoring team in the BBL.
Well, that's just maybe, but, you're talking about depleted.
What does that tell you? The Giants as a team collectively can't play defense. They are so talented on offense.
Right, here's the thing with that.
Ramon Fletcher, you got Dirk Williams, but that team defensively is very, very is a liability.
They're not fair to say the defensive players have been injured.
Do you know what, though? Right. I think if you spoke to any player on the Giants squad and said, what is your weakness? They'd say defense. But look at who the coach is, though. Vince doesn't play defense by his own admission.
I don't play defense.
But your best player, Giants' best player at the start of this season was William Lee, but he was best on both ends of the floor. He was, I think he was leading the league in blocks at one stage and points. He was up there for rebounds. When you've got a system like Vince runs, he's relying on standout defenders to fill the gaps at the back. And when you don't have that for most of the season, he's not even fit now. He's nowhere near as fit as he was at the beginning of the season. He's carrying injury.
I mean, my opinion is the best defensive player on the Giants team is Ant Roberson.
Great player. I'm enjoying him.
He plays good defense. And, if you look at his numbers, that he kind of reflects that. He does a lot at both ends of the floor. That guy works so freaking hard, game in and game out, at both ends of the floor. Okay. Now, Fletch, obviously, being Fletch, is a pretty good defender, right? He'll get steals.
Yeah.
He'll pressure the point
Agree.
guard.
Dirk's a good defender as well.
Absolutely agree.
Fletch is the
Dirk's
first
phenomenal.
guy.
Dirk is a great man.
Yeah. I mean, Dirk, put the ball to just a millimeter in his line of vision and he's gone. You've got a steal and you've got Dirk going down the floor because with that long reach he's got, he's a problem. But no, I mean, defense-wise, I can't disagree. The Giants are not a great team on defense. But, when you talk to Vince, whose philosophy is very much like the great Billy Mims, as to the team that scores the most baskets wins the game, that's the kind of basketball that you're looking at. Now, unfortunately, the only problem that I've got is that we've not won the last 5 games.
Do you know? Did you know? No, you haven't. But you did. You had a good run before that.
Yeah.
And to be fair, in the last number of games you've played the Lions and nearly took it off them. The Riders nearly took it off them. Lost in a close game against Caledonia.
Yeah.
William Lee, by the way, is still 3rd for blocks, and he hasn't been fit. He's only played 22 games. He's played,
and he's still not playing
13 games less than Roberson.
I'd say he's probably only 70%.
But is there any team this season that's played games
with their
full team all season? Even Bristol have had injuries. We know what London have been like, okay, they've got...
Can I just add, before you say anything else, Manchester Giants lead the league in block shots as well, 196, and it's not even close.
And they're a top. Here's another thing. They're a top team for second chances as well. But the thing is, whenever I watch the Giants, first of all, bringing back, is it now, first of all, can I ask the question, is the old logo permanent? Because I think the old logo should just be permanent forever. I don't think they should ever...
It's a centre court in it at the moment,
yeah.
And I tell you what I want. I really want to get a very dark green T-shirt with that logo in the middle because that logo just... If you even ask my old man, I remember on the 1999 Christmas, I said to my old man, he was like, what do you want for Christmas? London Tower? No, I want a Ronnie Baker green Manchester Giant. But I'll get on topic. Every time I watch Manchester play, I'm just... You've got Ramon Fletcher, arguably one of the greatest players in the history of our league, with Dirk Williams, who is just a phenomenal three-point shooter, has insane range, very good off the ball, moves off screens very well, loses his defender, and he's always getting open, along with Robertson, who's another tough player, and Taj Green. But when I look at this team, it's not that they're ill-disciplined. It's just I just don't think there's enough emphasis on team defense. You look at them when they play zone. They're very static. Teams get shots up. You look at them when they play man-to-man. There's always mismatches and switches on defense that they don't need. I remember when they played Leicester, the game it was Cheshire or whoever it was where Williams missed the 3-point at the end. It's just so much lack of communication. And I'm thinking to myself, this is probably the second biggest basketball market that we need in this country to be successful. Manchester Giants should be at least knocking on the door second instead of Bristol. And I mean, all due respect, the Bristol end. Shut up, Grant. No one's talking to you. And to Leicester.
I'm meant to agree with you.
Oh, sorry. I thought you put your finger up to say, well, what about Caledonia? But the point is, sorry. But the point is, watching this team defensively, they need a change. And I'm not saying changing coaches because I respect Vince, I love Vince. But you got to look at this team and reflect. If you want to be at the final in May, you got to defend better.
Well, listen, right. I watched a lot of the game yesterday next to John Tresvant and Yorick Williams. Okay, what do you think the comment that they both made was?
No defense.
The Giants
Yorick just was like, "We're going to play any defense tonight."
No defense.
And the time that we've been exposed the most with this defensive thing, London have done us twice at home when I've seen it. Right, is that London do this thing where towards the end of the game, they start using up the entire shot clock. And they do it by passing the ball around beautifully in the perimeter. And then they'll literally, at the last second, run a play and execute every time. And I'm sat there going, go to the man. Go to him. Don't let him do this to you. The Giants, sometimes they look a little bit lost. They're not talking to each other enough, going, get out to him, or whatever. But it's almost like that whole, you're watching an entire 24 seconds with London fully in control of the ball and just going, we're just going to keep passing the ball around because we know you're not going to come out and try and get it from us. And you're sort of just waiting for a Dirk or a Fletch to come in for a steal, but it just doesn't happen for whatever reason.
Right, question. And is this, I don't know where this goes because I don't want to come back and bite me, but who's been a bigger disappointment this season? Manchester, if they're currently sitting 7th, or Newcastle being 9th? Because that Manchester team should be 2nd, 3rd.
Eagles are where they were last season.
Most of us predicted Giants to be top 3.
Yeah.
And most of us predicted Newcastle to be bottom end. So
this is one of those things where I'm looking at the table going, how have we ended up in this position in the league? Because I'm telling you,
it is very close in that middle pack, to be fair.
No, it is close, but the Giants play some of the most up-tempo, entertaining basketball in the BBL, hands down, because of the players that they've got. I mean, it's highlight after highlight. There's some beautiful stuff going on offense, and then you look at it and go, but we're in 7th. And then you think about this defense thing, and you start to go, yeah, okay.
And this probably backs up what Josh was saying, what I'm about to say. Like, they lack that team defense. Individually, they're all pretty good. But if you were to compare them to, say, Sheffield, who's just above them in the table, are you taking every Giants player individually before you even touch a Sharks player on your roster? Do you know what I mean?
So that's that question.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Do you know, if you were to pick a team between Sheffield and Manchester, you're picking the mostly Manchester guys. But Sharks play better team defense and team basketball. That's the difference.
But then, you're sort of looking at that and going, all right, but you've got to look at 2 very, very different coaching systems.
Oh, yeah. Polar.
Tiber and Vince, they're miles apart,
Agreed.
But and it's not like, Vince will hear this and go, what are you talking about? We played great defense. Vince has said in post-game interviews to me, defense, the team with the most points wins. And he always references Billy Mims. I mean, you could turn around and go, yeah, but, at the same time, Billy Mims had Eric Burks, John White, and Robert Young.
Also a different game back then, because also what he's saying, team with the most points wins. Well, that's a G League mindset. That's what they say in the NBA. And unfortunately, we operate under the International Basketball Federation, which is FIBA. We have a team that's in the Euro Cup right now, potentially a team that's trying to get in the basketball check. So it's like, unfortunately, here in Europe, basketball is a game of runs. Basketball is a game of tactics and understanding your opponent. Look, I watched the NBA playoffs tonight, and I know I'm going to see one game that's going to be 140 points. But anyway, I'd like to apologize to Grant, who's actually very lovely. I thought you were putting your hand up to say, what about Caledonia? I do apologize. First, I have to congratulate Caledonia Gladiators, because that final against Cheshire, I know you talked about this a couple of weeks ago. My goodness gracious, I'm going to put it on my calendar next year to go up to I said Caledonia, to go up to Scotland and to see a game. That crowd looked unbelievable. Shout out to you Glasgow Rocks fans.
I'm just glad that there's a new quote from Daniel Routledge you can use instead of Myers for the league.
It's still in the intro.
Oh, no.
Sloan in the corner.
Yeah,
I put them both in. I wanted to say that I agree with what you guys are saying. We're going to take a quick break in a sec, but I think William Lee situation with this Giants team has been an absolute killer. Everybody's had injuries, everybody's had that kind of issue, but he was at that stage their best player. They were 5-2. The 2 losses coming in, close losses to the Riders and an 8-point loss to the Lions, which at that stage wasn't bad. They looked like they might have got something out of that game. I know Ads had his finger on the trigger for Twitter about to say Lions can be beat, and Lions managed to pull it out the bag. And then William Lee goes down, and they lose a couple more. He comes back, he's not fully fit. I think it's a huge loss.
But
he was the best player in the league at that stage.
Oh, I mean, and
he's not been back. But the difference is he's not been back. It's not like other players have had injuries.
Just say William Lee was the best player in the league at that point.
He's the best player at the league at that point, yeah.
Oh, until he got hurt,
he was 100%.
I was thinking this guy's going to be there.
What?
He
was leading the
league.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was leading the league in scoring. Yeah. He was leading the league in rebounds. He was leading the league in blocks.
Statistically, he was the best player in the league.
And what else are we going by? Eye test? Because eye test watching him play, he was unreal.
Well, who else?
Nicholson. You guys came out. Pats went out there to play you guys. The first thing Nicholson said was, William Lee's going to be a problem, and he just destroyed the Patriots. And at that stage, Patriots were actually top half of the table.
Since the day he stepped on the floor, Sam Deck has been the best player in the league.
No, he hasn't. No, he's not.
We need to go for a break before we get this one.
No, he's not. We'll be back in.
No, he's not. Why is he not the best player in the league?
He ain't played enough games. Right, we'll be back in a minute.
We'll be back in a minute.
Well, we're in full debate. The show plan has gone out the fucking window. I'm so glad I did all that effort in.
The hell with that. Let's get back to the question. Hold up. So
hang on. Pipe down. Don't make me mute you. So just before we went for a quick break, myself and Ads agreed. I don't know if Grant agrees with that, but certainly for the first initial part of the season, William Lee was the best player.
Okay, so statistically, you're saying he was better than Sam Deck. Is that, or are you saying that Pablo, in a hypothetical world, who's the GM of, let's say, the Birmingham Bobcats, is going to decide, I'm going to take William Lee and spend a certain amount of money, more than I would spend more on Sam Deck? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
God,
yes.
You guys are deluded.
Right. Okay. All right. Right. You are telling me. You are trying to tell me. We know that Decker is earning the best part of $800,000 a year.
Where's my popcorn?
I don't know that. No one's told me that.
I've heard it's more.
I don't know any of that. I'm just talking about. I'm talking about what I see on the basketball court. Just get away.
I'm telling you now. If I had a choice, but you said you had all the money in the world to spend on players who you're going to pick. I'm telling you now.
I'm talking about what players are running now. I don't know what players are running now. So let's talk about what's on the court, please. Go back. Hypothetical situation.
I think what Ads is trying to say is you're going to spend it on William Lee because you haven't got to spend as much money. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Preference I'm talking about. Listen to my question. If you had let's say you got one possession to make a franchise player on your team, are you going to choose a William Lee to be that cornerstone of your franchise, or are you going to choose Sam Decker to be the cornerstone of that franchise? You're picking William Lee?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Josh, these are guys that pick MJ over LeBron. So
that's facts.
Yeah, I know.
Can I just throw something into that as well from what you just said in terms of hang on. In terms of picking a player and building it for the future, this will piss off some Lions fans. I'm going to choose William Lee. I'm not convinced Decker's coming back.
You need help. You honestly need help.
Hey, let me tell you something else as well. I'd take Taj Green over Sam Decker.
I'm telling you now, this podcast needs to be shut down immediately. Please let me know what is in your tea.
Let's add this then. Is Decker your MVP for the season?
Mine?
Probably one of the greatest players I have seen in the flesh. This guy's game has everything you could ask. He can put the ball on the floor. He can shoot
Mate,
from the perimeter.
you need
He
to take
defends
this shit
multiple
back.
positions.
You
He
need to
gets
take
to
that
the
back.
buckets.
He wouldn't be able to hold Diamond Danny Lewis's jock, mate.
Did Diamond Danny Lewis play in the NBA? Decker was drafted first round in the NBA. Was a
I can't
rotational
help
player.
that it's a lower standard than
Is the
it is
current
there.
top scorer in the EuroLeague, and you would have picked him as your cornerstone?
It's a lot easier to get in the NBA now than it was back then.
Shut up. Honestly, you two are just...
There was no G League back then. There was no stepping stone.
What's he got to do with it?
Well, he didn't exactly have a great NBA career, did he?
You got nothing to do with the G League. This guy is... Oh, I cannot believe I'm hearing this.
Well, I'm sorry, I'll take Taj's double-double a game and what else he brings to the floor over Decker's. Nowhere near a double-double a game.
Oi, Grant, don't put your hand up. Dropping in that bullshit about LeBron.
God, I can't believe what I'm
Fucking
listening to right now.
geriatric that's crawling into the playoffs.
Sam Decker is the best player I've seen this season.
Thank you. There's
And
some
the
normality
IK
in this podcast.
The first game against Gladiators, when we should have beat London, we should have beat London their first game away from home. The only reason we never beat London on the road that day was that Sam Decker just became a different animal. And CC, Sam Decker, like I know Josh watches him all the time, but I've probably watched him in Europe more than you guys. He is, even in Europe, one of the best players. He is unreal to watch. Sometimes I feel like he's effortless when he's played BBL. Like nobody else this season has looked so effortless at doing everything both ends of the floor. Honestly,
One last thing in this debate. The first time I thoroughly watched Mr. Decker play was when he was playing for Turk Telecom in 2019 in the Basketball Champions League. His teammates were my good friend Carl Wiltshire, and I want to say the nephew of the former NBA Boston Celtics. But the point is, many players have a long time adapting, whether they come from the NBA or the G League, to play at a high level of European basketball. Turkish basketball is a very high level. This guy's game is so compatible to an NBA European game. He's proven himself to be a good rotational player when he played for the Rockets. Okay, it didn't go so well in Washington or in LA, but I still think he could play in the NBA if he was given another chance. But when he came to Europe,
I don't think so. 4.4,
no,
5.4 points per game.
Watch at the Rockets. He wasn't given enough time. I'm not getting into that. The point is, I'm trying to say, when he came to Europe, he was a perfect fit. I'm telling you, this guy's jump shot from the mid-range, it's automatic. Again, he knows how to score off the dribble. He has a very good step back. He moves effectively off the ball. But also, when he's been guarded by a smaller player, he also has a great post-up game. There's not much that this guy can't do. And to say Taj Green, you would take him over, or William Lee, guys, come on, I love you guys to bits, but what the hell's going on?
No, I didn't say I'd take Taj Green over William Lee. I said I'd take Taj Green over Sam Decker.
Yeah, you take both of them over Sam Decker, I meant, if I'd said that wrong. But the point is, come on, fellas. Like, come on.
To be honest, that London team, the guys that caused us the most problems was actually the guy under the basket, Zubic.
First of all, he's not. That's inappropriate language. It's Zubcic. Okay. Yeah. Please do not call him inappropriate words. Please. It's okay. I'd still love you, bro.
Yeah, I think the issue. I mean, we've got slightly off track. Maybe I think what we're looking at early on in the season.
Still.
Yeah, no, that ship has sailed. When we say things like...
We've had injuries too this season. We were missing Ali.
Oh, pipe down. When we say things like William Lee was the best... Early on in the season, particularly the first 5-6 games, he was the best player in the league.
Man. Most missed player this season.
I think it's mainly because the role of William Lee on the team was different to Decker. Like Grant said, Sam Decker had to step up to get him over the line against the Gladiators. He doesn't have to do that every week, whereas William Lee was doing it every week.
What?
Does that make sense?
No,
but that squad, that team around him is immense. He didn't have to drag them up every week. They're good enough for him just to go through the motions, hit big shots. That's what he does.
No, but William Lee's not. But William Lee, okay.
William Lee was the man on that Giants team early in this season until he got injured, and when he got injured, they really missed him.
Okay, but William Lee's not good enough to be on the Lions squad. So that's like.
Oh, now you are just gangster tripping, man. What are you talking about?
William Lee
Lee's
is
not good enough to be on the London Lions.
I'd have him ahead of Comagum, whatever his name is.
Okay, Comagum is a.
I'd have him ahead of Oni.
Oh my god, what am I listening to? I can't do this. Bro.
Maybe the Europe.
Next topic.
Can't do it because I've caught you out there. That's good.
No, you haven't caught me out. I'm listening to such blasphemy right now.
There's two players there that I think William Lee's better than.
Oh, okay, so you said only one. Who else?
Comagum was the other one.
But that's comparing a starter from one team to a second string player on another. I mean, I could tell you that.
He's also a British passport, isn't he? So...
Only starts, doesn't he?
Well, I mean, we haven't even talked about Zach Jackson and Mark Lovin yet.
Zach Jackson's been immense this season.
Yeah,
he's even underrated by Riders fans, I think.
Can I tell you something really cool?
Go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it was retro night last night.
Oh, it's very good. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Listen to who was there last night. So at halftime, we arranged a bit of a presentation, and Mike Shaft did the commentary. So it's just like the old days, and he introduced the legends to the floor. And we had Danny Craven, we had Trez, we had Jason Swain, Steve Gale, Adam Thompson, Chris King, Pluto Vorliotis, Sean Mackay, and Yorick Williams come out to the court. It was beautiful. Hearing Mike Shaft reading those names out and getting them all on the floor, and they all had a bit of a chat on the mic. It was amazing. But
Mike Shaft still has the same bloody sounds playing at games that he had back then.
Exactly.
He didn't have to change anything for last night then, did he?
Retro night. Get on this as well. Do you guys remember the most famous game of all time, the Dream Team game where they played one another behind locked doors?
Yes.
And they all say it's the best game?
They lost. They lost to the B team, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, when they played each other, it was like East versus West, and
Jordan against
Jordan Barcelona.
Yeah.
Talk about the university.
Yeah, no.
Oh no, that was great as well. Though, yeah.
So we're stood there, all these legends, right? And we're looking around and went, actually, you know what? Nigel Lloyd's here, Clive Allen is here, and so is Fab. We could have a game of Birmingham Bullets versus the Giants here, where they swap up a bit. Not forgetting, of course, Yorick played for Birmingham, as did Danny Craven. And we were like, let's get everybody out of Bellevue, lock the door,
and
just let them go at it. Because I'm telling you, all those guys in the same place at the same time, you could see them itching to get on the floor. I looked at Yorick and went, you fancy it, don't you? And he's just going, you could see him sort of just wanting
He's in good nick as well, man.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, and the other thing that we all said, I said it first, and then they all just looked at each other and went, yeah. I was like, you know what? You guys get on that floor as a squad, and you'd scare the shit out of these two teams for a good 10, 15 minutes, I think.
Maybe longer. Joshua, man, I'm interested to know your pick for MVP is this season.
Sam Decker.
Do you not think that how many games and minutes he's played, blah, 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 is important?
Well, they're about to win the treble.
Well,
I'd say that with confidence.
It's not the quadruple, is it?
No, it's not the quadruple, no.
And you know what? Credit to Glasgow for winning that. They did a good job. They made the season very exciting by doing so. So credit to everybody up in Caledonia. But at the same time, if the team wins the treble, I think the best player on that team, rightfully so, should be the MVP. That's my strong thought.
Even though he's only played 21 games?
I believe so, man.
All right. Just interested in that. Grant, my man, you the same with that?
Unless you want William Lee to win the MVP.
Well, interesting enough, William Lee's still ahead in efficiency points than Sam Decker, but there you go.
Holy mackerel. Goodness gracious. God,
Grant, my man.
Wiped me up.
Before I mute him, Grant, my
man. I'm kind of one that sits in the post in this one because I feel like he needs to have played more games.
Yeah.
Sam Decker's the best player in this league by a million miles.
Well, I don't think it's a million miles, but yeah.
500,000. I think I said the other week that I would probably say because he's played more games or played the majority of his games is then VJ King.
VJ's definitely up there. I thought you were going to say, you've made top 4 now. I thought you were going to say Sloan. But go on, add to my man.
Sloan was another one early season who was top scoring, top assists, or near the top of assists. But
ads, what you got, my man?
I'm finding it quite difficult.
I thought you were going to say Mark Loving.
Well, obviously, Mark Loving. Zach Jackson has been special this year.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to go with him.
He has been really good.
Or Mark Loving.
What are you saying, Pablo Cheeks?
Me, no one wants to know what I think, do they?
Yeah.
I've asked you, haven't I?
So if it didn't have to come from top four, I've very much enjoyed Taj Green. I think he's been outstanding, but he's definitely a shout for.
He's rookie of the year.
Rookie's going to be tough to pick. There's a few very good rookies. Larry Austin, I think, has been outstanding as well. Ramon Fletcher's been outstanding as well. I've really enjoyed Ramon, and he is the GOAT. Some people would be pissed off with that, but I don't know, man. From the top four, I'm probably looking at someone from Leicester or Flyers. So it is like VJ King or Zach Jackson.
Still can't sleep on Patrick Whelan either, guys. I don't know if he's the MVP, but
I think he's dropped off a
chat.
bit. Team of the year, maybe.
Yeah,
certainly Brit team of the year. I would have thought. He was injured.
Got a chance of being in team.
He's played enough games now. Who's that?
Josh has got a chance of being all Brit.
Hey, look, some of the talent in the league this year. Josh must be fucking itching to get on the court.
Huh?
No, okay, good.
You mean Josh me? Are you talking about what Josh
You,
Welcher?
Josh Sharma.
Oh.
No, you. You must be itching to
Mate,
get on the court. Looking at some of the players in the league this year. Some we were talking about earlier today, Mr. Bett.
I got an inbox from somebody asking me why I still don't play, and I said, well, because I kept getting taller. They said, what do you mean? I said, well, I just keep growing. They said, well, what are you, 6'2", 6'3"? I said, yeah, around the middle.
Oh, the dad jokes.
Only the best for this podcast.
So look, how do we think? Looking at the league, the race for second's not done. Riders currently hold the second spot. They've got Sharks and Knicks to play. Flyers looks like they got the easier running, but the head-to-head at the moment, the Riders had the head-to-head, so the Flyers would have to win both. Does that mean the Riders would have to lose both? Yeah, they would, wouldn't they? That's not going to happen, is it? Well,
How's Carrington Love been the last couple of games?
He's really turned it on. Yeah.
He's like come from nowhere.
Well, some players it takes a bit longer to bed in. So we're taking it that Riders are second, Flyers are third, I think, and the only other the eighth spot is not done officially. Pats have got Lions and Eagles, which to me, as it looks at the moment, and looking at the Pats' record so far this season, that looks like 2 losses for me. But the Eagles have got to face the Glads again after that torrid affair, which we'll talk about in a bit. And then they got the.
Can't we just get onto that right now? Because that just seems to be the juicy part that everybody wants to hear us talk about.
Let's do it.
Well, before we do, are the Pats going to finish in 8th, or are the Eagles going to get one?
Okay, Eagles are going to get it.
You think the Eagles will get it?
Again, I tell you why. And again, I'm sorry to cut ahead of you guys. I tell you why. Number one, the Pats have to go to London this Friday.
Impossible.
But that's impossible. I would say Caledonia should take care of business against Newcastle at home. But, I mean, Newcastle, they are like a bag of rebels, okay? They're good.
Well, that is so dangerously close to life. It's like a box of chocolates, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, why they're like a bag of rebels is because when they're a confidence team.
I love you, Jenny.
Oh, God. But when they're bad, and again, it's a combination of a lot of things, but I do generally think that Mark Studer will look at the season, reflect, and we'll be able to turn this around next year. For Newcastle, like they want to on Thursday. What that means is going into that very last game, they'll have to win against Patriots by what, 11, 12 points?
8. I got beaten by more than 8.
Okay, more than 8. It's nothing, basically. It's really not much at all.
Especially when the Pats have been getting hammered by 30. It's not a lot, yeah.
And I just think right now, fans they've got to live for the fact that that Glasgow, sorry, Caledonia will do them a favour. Also, Paz, we talked about this earlier today. What are these two teams really trying to get to? 8th position. What does that mean? Well, it just means 2 extra games in the postseason against London Lions, unfortunately. But if I'm looking at this, the season has been a huge letdown for the Patriots because expectations were so high coming into this year because of the high they went on last year. It was like basketball ecstasy last year. Everybody loved them because they went from zero to hero, basically.
It's
for
the
way they
flip
ended
side of
last
that
year.
this season, isn't it?
Yeah. Whereas Newcastle, for them, it just seems to me, and I mean this with all respect to Patriots, is because the expectations were a lot higher for Patriots than 8th position this year. For Newcastle, it's about pride. We're talking about one of the biggest fan bases in British basketball. It's almost like you better get that 8th spot, even though in the first round you're going to meet the Lions, because it just gives us something to fight for, something to believe for next year. They don't want to go 2 years in a row not making the playoffs. But isn't this deja vu? The same two teams are fighting to the very end to get the 8th spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's on its head though, because last time it was the Gladiators, the Patriots that were fighting to catch up.
Yeah,
and managed to track that 8th spot down from having no
Hunter
wins
became
up
the
until
hunted, yeah.
February. Yeah, and now it's the other way around.
I generally think it could be Newcastle as well. I think I'd prefer Plymouth, but
You think Newcastle will beat the Gladiators?
I think they could, because I wonder what have we got to play for. We've got, other than potential kind of best home record by percentage, we've got guys like we've got one big guy. We've got injuries since before the trophy final. We've had Ali Fraser out basically on and off all season. Tappy, who's, let's be honest, we were raving about on here about being one of the most improved guys throughout the season. And then between that, we've got imagine we hadn't recruited Ali Hodgic. Where would this team be? Like, Farrell's been a beast for us. And then you combine Jeremiah and Prince who are having to play the 3 and the 4 almost simultaneous. We've got 3 guys having to play a lot of minutes at the moment, so I wouldn't be surprised. We'll playoff confirmed. Bit more rest for these guys. So the game means a lot more for Newcastle, but then Gareth Murray's not going to take much not to get motivated for that, will he? So I still think we'll win, but I think there's more to play, obviously more to play for Newcastle. And let's look at that Newcastle team. Kyle Johnson, Justin Gordon, Darius Defoe. These guys are big-time BBL and British guys who've been around a while.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Like, Justin Gordon and Kyle Johnson have been insane the last couple of weeks. Ben Watford is hot or cold. Look what he did on Friday night, and then look what he did on Sunday. 4 points against London. Okay, different opposition. But that's how Ben Watford plays. He was unstoppable fourth quarter against Gladiators. So if Newcastle do get the win, I see them absolutely romping Plymouth on the Sunday. Or whenever they're playing each other. When do they play?
Yeah, Sunday.
So
that's my man. What you got?
I think that the Pats are going to hang in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've got to be honest with you, you're going to have a miserable time in the playoffs, guys.
Yeah. Well, this is
what do we think? What
Josh was saying, isn't it?
What do we think, though, of the comments by certain people on socials either today or last night about we should just make it 1-7 and give London a bye? Because
what?
What?
Who said that?
Your good friends. I think it was a conversation on Twitter between Niall Gray and Drew Lasker.
Fucking madness.
Oh no!
That's
no,
what I'll say
okay,
to
okay.
that.
Let's come on. Can we move on to the next topic?
Like, how mental is that to even make that comment?
Madness.
Like,
if anything, we should be trying to do some sort of play-in, not fucking having less games.
I'd start typing replies.
Jesus
My thumbs were going, and I was like, "That's horrific." But
right, moving on. Next topic. Come on.
We need dog shit.
No. We don't need to waste time on this, please.
I'm not wasting time. It's dog shit. Utter dog shit. Anyway,
I've got 10 minutes. Can we get on to the more important topic, the situation with Cohn and Sloan, please?
All right, we'll move forwards then. Just for you, Josh.
You're not interested in hockey anymore. Let's go. Come on.
Cohn, well, don't look at this then, because this was a fucking hockey face-off. Cohn versus Sloan.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, all right, I'll take that back. Yeah, go on.
Well, all right, I'm interested to know what our opinions of this. Obviously, there's a few of us on this panel here that don't have a horse in the race. Grant does, so we'll save him until last. Ads, what did you make of it, mate? It smacked of the 90s to me a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, but it was very funny. I mean, what you did with that thing you did with the best sound effect was just brilliant.
Oh, did you enjoy that? Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the worst. If Sloan is trying to get a punch in, it's the worst attempt at a punch I've ever seen.
Well, this is the thing I was questioning.
The way Cohn went down was a bit WWF, wasn't it? You know what I mean? It was like, really?
Yeah.
It was. I must say, I laughed a lot over the whole incident. How close to it were you, Grant?
About 4.5 hours away because it was in
Oh,
Newcastle.
you didn't go, did you? Yeah,
Oh,
it was
you didn't
Newcastle.
go?
No.
It was hilarious from.
What did you
start to
make of
finish.
it though? Because obviously everybody seemed to miss the slap first off, which we highlighted
But
in a
I
in a
didn't.
later
I
video.
saw the slap straight away. I was like,
All right.
That's why I kept making comments, being like, look, Cohen's the type of guy, right, where he is in your face the full 40 minutes.
He's niggling.
He's that annoying fly that's
Yeah.
just constantly in the summer. See, when the heat's on, he's just there. You just want to fucking hit him away.
You know
what?
who?
That's what makes
who
him
reminds
a good
me
player.
of? You know who he reminds me of?
Fab.
NBA time. John Stockton.
Yeah.
A guy that
I said that to somebody today.
Yeah, and I forget who it was that said it, but
Steve Kerr said he's the dirtiest player he's ever played against.
Yeah,
you said that to me, Pabs. You told me on the phone the other day.
Yeah.
There you go.
And because he is that guy, I was quite impressed with Cohn when I've seen him in the flesh, as it were. But he is that guy. You can tell that he just drives people crazy.
Who was the Sheffield player that ended up in Manchester? Is it called? Oh God! Everybody hated him, and then he went to Manchester, and you all liked him.
Oh, Travis.
Yeah, Condon. Yeah.
Yeah. Similar sort of thing. You hate those point guards that have no respect for personal space and are virtually hugging you up and down the court. And he is that guy. And I think he plays that part very well because he seems to know it as well.
Oh, he plays the pantomime villain all day long.
It's not like he owns it, which I respect immensely.
Constantly naps away at refs the full game. Have you ever been courtside when he's been on court? You just want to grab him and say like, just shut up.
Yeah.
And he suits playing next to Darius Defoe. Definitely, they work well as a team in that. and the artistic falling over. They do really good at that.
Well, he's already got an Oscar, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Like, come on. Like, you look at that incident, and obviously we've got people concentrating online and being like, "It's assault." Like,
well, yeah, but that was Eagles fans.
No, I know, but some
that
of the
was
comments
just Eagles fans.
I know, but then that's when you look at like the Discord and elsewhere. People are, oh yeah, there's Cohn on the floor. Like, no one's surprised. No one is surprised anymore.
But it was weird though, because this is what I was trying to. I think I was saying this to Josh on the phone earlier. If you're a couple of inches away from someone, you don't try and punch them in the face. You punch them in the face. They're right in front of you. It's harder to miss. And what he did, throwing his arms like either side of Cohn's head, it's weird. It's weird, but it's almost like he was kind of, this. Well, he's just going to fall over if I do this.
But look
and
at
that's exactly what happened.
Zach Jackson did the exact same thing. The guy just like blew on him and
off him. Yeah.
going like just was flopping around the floor. And like, if anything, the bigger incident, in my opinion, is Cohn deliberately, when the ball's nowhere near it, slapping, almost karate chopping Sloan's right hand.
Yeah, it's weird.
Why are you doing that? That doesn't sit right with me.
Did you like the cat sound effect afterwards? Because that's what it reminded me of. Those videos where you see a cat bat someone.
That whole thing.
Josh, my man, he's pacing around in his kitchen. What did you make of it?
So, again, first of all, I'm glad you made that piece of content online, Pablo, and you put it on the Below the Rim Twitter. Well, first of all, great editorial work, but also just showed a broader side because I didn't see that part of the game and I missed it. All I saw was on social media. When I saw the clip online, I was like, oh my God, he's like, at first glimpse, it's like, wow, he's laid him out, basically. It's like a Mike Tyson hit, because that's what you see at first glimpse. Then when I saw it closely, and comparing what I read, where it was like a lot of people had said immediate disqualification, to then what was discussed in the Discord, and then looked at it back. I'm actually glad the referees didn't react or overreact, because I think the reason why they didn't overreact, because you got to remember, the referees don't have instant replay. If you watch any other, like there's Pro A, ACB, Basketball Champions League, you name it, refs will always go back and see what caused it to make a decision. This is the only thing I'll say from this instance, is that, number one, I'm not going to judge Cohn, I'm not going to judge Sloan, because I do not know them as people. There's probably underlying factors that led up to this, and this will happen in pro sports. Players' tempers will flare. However, from the little slap that was initiated by Mr. Cohn, this is what I will say to young people that are getting into the game. Cause and effect. Treat others how you would want to be treated. you say nice things to people, they'll say nice things back to you. If you say nasty things to people, they'll say nasty things back to you. If you go and slap someone who is nearly 3 times your size, well, I don't know what they'll do back to you because you'll take that chance. But I don't know why he made that slap. I still can't figure out. I look back at it, so it doesn't look like anything in the play led up to it. So that's what I'm saying. Something must have been said before that. However, by the size of someone like David Cohn, I'm not saying anything about him as a human being, and you go and decide to do a slap to like someone like Sloan, you might want to run away. That's all I'm saying. So young people playing, point is, pick a fight with someone that you can't run away from. That's all I'll say.
Has anyone got the video clip of the slap?
Yeah, it's on our Twitter as well. It's the one where I put we missed something.
I mean, I spent a long time trying to figure out what Sloan had done back to him. But Grant, Grant, you'd said that they'd been going back and forth at each other during the game?
Yeah, I think that's what it looks like. I think that's just Sloan's probably been up against Cohn the full game, and I think Cohn had also gone over the back with an elbow on him, like the play before as well. So he's just that type of player that wants to get in his opponent's face, wants to put them off the rhythm. And you know what? You get guys like that, but you're, Josh, 100% spot on. Cause and effect. Like, why? Why are you wanting to do that? Why are you wanting to whack a competitor or an opponent? Like, it just doesn't sit right with me.
It's a big part of his game, though, isn't it? That's what he does.
Sorry, I don't appreciate that, and I'll tell you why. I don't appreciate this is because if he had taken the hit, and again, I'm not going to say where. I know perhaps you're convinced he didn't hit him. I say graze him. The point is, if you're going to aggravate somebody and then take a shot like that, get back up. Like, come on, like just take the shot because that's what you're trying to do. And the reason why is, look, I know there are quite a few people that get annoyed with how I commentate games and get frustrated. That's absolutely fine. And I'm not going to say who this was, but I went to is it EBL or NBL below the BBI? I always get this mixed up. But I went to a game on the weekend.
NBL.
And I saw a group of fans at this game harassing the other team players and verbally harassing the other coach. To which, as human beings, the players in the other team got very annoyed and confronted those fans at the end of the game. And those fans panicked. And this is what I'm saying, like, if you're going to aggravate somebody, if you're going to get on someone's nerves, if you're going to try to really, you have to anticipate they're going to react. And you at that point, it's anyone's game at that point. If you're going to play no holds bar, then anything goes at that point. So that's what I'm saying. Always treat people how you want to be treated. You know, the great Mickey Bett, when I say the great, I had an argument with him today. But the point is, my dad used to say, battle on the court, you're ferocious, but you shake hands as soon as the game's over. Yeah. When you do stuff like that on the court, I'm sorry, it just becomes toxic afterwards. And I don't know, man. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't seeing from seeing the slap and seeing he got after he was when he got hit. Yes, he probably did get hit, but listen, man, I've been knocked quite a few times in my life. I've been hit quite a few times, but the whole reaction afterwards, I don't think any player should play like that. And you can't do that in international basketball these days. You got the unsportsmanlike foul. You can't play like the Bad Boys or a Dennis Rodman or a John Sally or a James Edwards or a Bill Laimbeer. That doesn't exist over here. So stick to basketball. David Cohn's a good player. He offers a lot more to his team than that.
Does he though? Isn't that what he does week in, week out?
I've seen him play.
But guys, I got to run because I've got to.
Thanks for joining us, sir.
Things. Yeah, I'll try and come on the next episode next week. Right, love you guys. See you guys soon.
Josh, Bett out. Take it easy.
Bye, Josh.
Love you guys. Bye.
God, thank fuck for that. Love you.
What were you saying, Cabs?
No, I was just saying, like when he said he offers more to the team than that, but does he? Because that's something that's been a part of his game since day one. He gets in and amongst them. He's one of those guys that a little bit like nowhere near as bad is what Issa Brandon does in a game. He talks trash from start to finish. He'll get in your face. He doesn't do the niggly stuff that David Cohn necessarily does, but this is what he does.
But Cohn, then and I think a lot of Newcastle fans have been frustrated by him because 1 minute or one game he can put up 30 points, shoot the ball pretty well. The next game you'll get 10 to 15 assists, but in the next game after that he'll get 4 points, 3 assists. Like I I put that. I'm actually now of the thought that that's down to how Newcastle have, in my opinion, not a lot of identity about themselves. Like, is Cohn there to be a facilitator or a scorer, or is he there to be a pain in the ass?
Maybe it depends on who they're playing.
But if they're a good basketball team, it shouldn't matter who they're playing against.
Fair.
And I'm a big, like, you just have to look at, you look at their two primary scorers at the moment, Kyle Johnson and Justin Gordon. Cohn should be the third man there, or facilitating, so he should be getting a double-double.
Oh, he should be playing the position of a point guard and having a point guard's numbers, which is, you want your point guard to be averaging between 12 and 14, 8 assists, a steal.
Yeah, it's well, the incident itself. I've not seen anything or heard anything. It's not unknown that they would review it. Although it's
Cohn's average for the season is 10.8 points and 6.3 assists.
I mean, reasonable numbers for a point guard
in over 30 minutes a game.
Yeah, it's okay numbers for a point guard. It's not incredible or outstanding, but it's decent numbers for a point guard. But when you compare him to other point guards, Fletch, McKenzie, Laurie Austin Jr.
What do we make of the incident itself? Should there be repercussions, or should we just leave it as? Because that was one of the things that came up on Twitter. Obviously, Eagles fans calling for him to should have been ejected from the game. You can't punch a player. I mean, I would argue he didn't punch a player.
Well, exactly.
And if they're going to review that, they need to go back at the instigation, and the instigation was from Cohn. If anything, they either both get a tech or they both go. Like the real thing is, and I don't want to do it, but the bottom line is the refs missed the slap. You pick up the slap, you don't get the rest of it.
Well, you look at it like this: the slap's pathetic. What he does in retaliation's pathetic, and the way Cohn goes down is pathetic. So how pathetic are we going? And if it was an elbow to the back of Sloan's head and he turned around and punched him in the face and he went down, you're going, okay, that's a fight. You know what I mean? That's a good old fashioned bit of basketball violence, if you want to call it that. But this wasn't. It wasn't even handbags. It's like,
it's really weird.
You slap my arm, and I'm gonna sort of push both arms either side of your head, and then you're gonna fall over
and roll around
and look like you know what I mean. You've just had your head kicked.
It was more the fact that afterwards nobody really rushed in to kind of.
Well, no, I mean Ben Mockford goes over and starts talking a little bit, but then
he kind of smiles.
I mean, we're not dealing with a team of bad boys. There are no hard men in this league anymore. There's guys that think they're hard men, but they're really not. You know what I mean? So it's not like, this isn't. All right, let's take it back. This isn't Trevor Gordon and Colin Irish going at it.
This isn't Trevor Gordon elbow dropping the guy under the basket who played for Aris Thessaloniki.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's sort of modern day pantomime, whatever. It's not, I bet more people in the crowd were giggling than going, "Oh, that's just terrible." You know what I mean?
Not by the sound of it.
Not that Newcastle crowd.
No,
no, they need something to.
I don't know. The Geordies are hard people. You know what I mean? So.
Pitchforks were out. Yeah.
It was up in court. No, so if the league were to bring in review stuff and support the refs, we've said it before, I believe a lot of the growing frustrations this kind of second half of the season is the inconsistencies, and we've talked about it before about how we need to be kind of supportive of the refs and to kind of help them get better and professionalise it a bit more and whatever else. And giving them technology can only help them, regardless of how that goes. If it goes in my team's favour or Ads' team's favour or whatever, it's just like, well, just get it right. And look at how the game in Europe, and again, I've watched quite a lot of London's games this season in Europe, and there's just a general acceptance of ref made the call, frustrated, have a conversation with the ref, and it's done. The ref goes, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Do you know what? I doubt they throw each other under the bus either, because I've heard that this season. I've heard one ref on the far side give a foul, and the other ref come over and say, "Yeah, that was soft." What's that about?
I did similar yesterday. There was a Jeremiah Bailey I think it was Josh Steele or Johnson grabbed him round the hips, but Jeremiah kept going. Like it was probably could have easily been an unsportsmanlike. But the refs just turned around to Gareth and went, "I'm not calling that. That's soft. Get on with it. It's soft." I was like, what? But it was like the faintest grab. He didn't grab him, but he went to grab him. It's like, hey.
Right, fellas, let's take a quick break and come back and talk about the playoff matchups that we potentially...
We're going back to your plan.
Yes, we are now, yeah. Well, we've kind of covered most of it in a roundabout way. Anyway, we'll be back in a sec. So, fellas, I mean, first playing eighth probably isn't the most interesting. Lions playing either the Patriots or the Eagles. I think we're all agreed that that's just going to be a little bit of a smash and grab kind of thing. The only thing that worries me is, and I love the Patriots, but they've not, I mean, of the last 11 games, they are 1-10. And the majority of those games they've lost by 20 or more. Eagles are 3-8, and they've there's been a couple of games where they've lost by 18, maybe 20, but most of their games lately they've run teams close and really had a go. So the only worry for me is the Patriots make that game against the Lions, and then the aggregate becomes like 100. I'm not looking forward to that prospect. But if we're agreed, then Riders are going to hang on to second. Who do we think is going to finish seventh? Giants are Sharks. I'll give you the run-in. Sharks have got Riders and Flyers in their last two games. Giants have got a game against Surrey, and the Knicks, who could get dragged down there, have only got one game left. They've got Riders at home. There's potential for the Giants to hop up there, isn't there?
What's a 6?
Potentially. I didn't look at the head-to-head with the Sharks, but Sharks have got two very tough games. I can't see them winning either of them, if I'm honest. Riders and Flyers. Depending on how the Riders and Flyers take it, they're still battling for second, technically.
Hang on. If Giants finish 6...
So it would be... Do we think that's possible? Do we think that... Are we going to base our playoff picture on Giants leaping above the Sharks based on what games they've got left?
Well...
Giants have the easiest game.
Giants have got the easiest one because they got Surrey. Sheffield have got 2, and one of them's Leicester.
And the other one's the Flyers, yeah.
The Flyers,
tough.
yeah, okay.
They're both, and both those teams are fighting to stay, to be second.
So I'm gonna say Giants come in 6.
And we'll leave Cheshire where they are.
Which means that we.
Mind you, Cheshire got Riders.
No.
What's the head-to-head with Giants and Cheshire? That's the only thing I didn't check.
Isn't it 2-1?
No, they've played 4 games.
3-1.
To who? Giants?
Giants? No, it can't be.
Let's check that.
Right,
let's check that quickly. I've got fixtures by club. Let's go Giants. This is making good for the podcast. Who am I looking at? Giants and Sharks?
Yeah. No, Cheshire.
Oh, yeah, Cheshire. Hang on. Giants beat Cheshire once. Lost once. That's 1-1. Lost to them again. Cheshire 2-1. And lost to Cheshire 3-1. So I think
that's what I said. 3-1.
Yeah, I thought you meant Giants.
Did I say no? Sorry, my bad. I meant Cheshire.
No, that's all right.
I'm sure you said Cheshire were 3-1 last week. So
yeah.
So Cheshire basically us 5th.
Yeah.
So that would mean the Riders would play the Sharks. How do we feel about that? Because the Sharks have been pretty good.
Riders will be okay.
Grant, any room for upset there?
I think there could be but then Sharks can finish 5th. That's the highest they can finish.
Can they finish 5th?
Oh, yeah.
But looking at their running, so we're saying they're going to finish 7th based on the fact they've got the top 2 who are still fighting for second. So it's not like they're going to take their foot off the gas. They want to finish as high as possible.
No, I know.
It just makes it bloody interesting, doesn't it? Final week of the season, there's still so much going on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But then looking at matchups, I know that's what we're going to go on to. So
that's what we're looking at now. Yeah, we're looking at.
So if you look at the matchups, who does Manchester favour playing? Do they want to play Leicester? Would they rather play Bristol?
In an ideal scenario, I want to play Cheshire. And I'll tell you why. Because
you're not going to.
Yeah, you're not going to because you're all in the bottom three. But we've already. Come on, fellas. We've been through this just now. We've just decided. Sorry to reiterate that. We've just decided. Eagles and Pats we're not decided on, but they're playing the Lions, so we don't really care. Sharks, based on the running, should finish 7th. Giants 6th. Phoenix 5th. So we're looking at Leicester facing off against the Sharks.
Yeah.
But do we see any up? The last time these two teams played, bearing in mind they're playing again before the end of the season, where Sharks beat them at home 72-64. And have been very good towards this business end of the season. But in the playoffs, can they pull it off?
I think that's where Leicester's experience probably takes them over the line with guys like Whelan, Kimball, Loving, Action Jackson. Like, you'd probably say they're the more experienced BBL playoff, that kind of team. So, but Sheffield have been so much better. Like, Pipkins has made a huge difference to them.
We see this coming down to the wire in this because obviously they favour being at home and playing in front of that big blue curtain, don't they?
Yeah.
Teams have struggled. Even the Lions have struggled there.
I mean, Sheffield, they look good against us on Friday. No doubt about it. They played very well. The new guy's great. Kipper Nichols continues to do that weird thing he does where 1 minute he's utterly brilliant and the next minute you don't hear from him so much and whatnot. But he was utterly brilliant on Friday. But no, you can't. It's like Grant just said, playoff experience, and you say those names out that Leicester have got, and you bear in mind that Rob's been here a million times before.
Yeah,
you can't overlook the Riders, can you?
Let's look at what would potentially be the next matchup: Flyers taking on the Giants. That to me, that's probably the most exciting one so far.
That'll be a tasty series.
Yeah, I would almost go as far to say, I mean, the Flyers have perhaps fallen off the perch a little bit at this end of the season. I know we just said Giants have lost 5 straight, but they've come up against some tough opposition in those 5 games. All top half of the table teams that they've faced. And they've run teams close. They've run the Riders close the other night. They run the Lions close. The Phoenix beaten by 3. It was a close game in Caledonia. Obviously, Glasgow. Sorry, Caledonia obviously took that towards the end. Just had a bit too much for the Giants. But I don't know. In the playoffs, Ramon Fletcher is a different beast. You
get the impression with Fletcher at the moment because Fletcher is a different Fletch to how he was a couple of months ago. He's super focused. He's super intense. And he's all about it at the moment. And you can just tell that somebody's different at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And you said it the other day, Grant, that Fletch just seemed really focused. Now, even though they've not got a good winning record the last 5 games, when I saw Fletch walk into the building when he arrived at Bellevue on Sunday, and he looked so focused. And you watch him in the pre-game, and he's locked in. And Fletch, the thing with Fletch is, it's quite funny. I don't want to sound disrespectful here about the younger guys. So I don't know how it is at Plymouth and at Caledonia, but it's kind of a big thing at the Giants that the photographers sort of have to go outside and take photographs of them coming in, in whatever outfit they've chosen and all that, and they all look super cool. And some of them even stage it a little bit. Fletch, you just don't see that. He turns up in his sweats with his gear, walks straight in, not interested whatsoever in the fashion show or anything like that. And he gets ready and he's out on the court shooting. Dirk as well. You know what I mean? Those guys just go in, do what they're there to do. not interested in anything else. And to me, that just shows veteran experience. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And I mean, I'm not, having a dig at the guys that do sort of dress up and, they look cool. I mean, they are cool as, when they're coming in, you know what I mean? It's a very NBA thing that's
the
come
walk-in
over,
video.
hasn't it?
Yeah.
The walk-in video.
Russell Westbrook started that all off, didn't he, really?
But guys like Fletch and Dirk, just not interested. They turn up in the sweatsuits. They're there to do a job. And Fletch looks locked in at the moment. And I think he's going to lead the Giants. Whatever happens in the playoffs, Fletch is going to be at the forefront of it. I'm telling you now.
But it's just, you see, if we've decided they're playing Bristol, there's so many pros and cons, or pluses and negatives for the Bristol Flyers. A young team, they've not got playoff experience in this country. But then the flip side is they're unpredictable then. Capoulas hasn't got a team that looks this good on paper now, or doing so well before.
This is the best Flyers team ever, yeah.
Yeah. So you're like, how does he then coach in the playoffs compared to like a Vince or a Rob or a Tiba, guys who've done it?
Yeah.
How fit are they heading into the playoffs with VJ King and Jelani, who have been recently out? They've had injuries early in the season. They had a great start to the season. They got their wins on the board early. They're maybe now toiling a little. No, maybe toiling is a harsh word. Maybe not as on it as other teams have been more recently. But then we've just said Fletch is on it, but Giants are struggling to get wins. So then you're like, in my opinion, that in that series, I think it's a close one, but I'm taking Bristol still.
I think, to be honest, we're almost going with the form guide. So 0 chance of upset, 1-8. So Lions over Pats or Eagles. Riders versus Sharks. We're saying low chance. Sharks have looked good, but it's the Riders. There's a little bit more chance. So
Sharks did beat them last
time. True. With the seeds getting closer. Well, maybe that's telling. Maybe this next game they've got against the Riders will be telling how they perform in that. Flyers, Giants, a little bit more room for upset in that one. I think there's a definite chance when you look at the roster that the Giants have got. They've got to string together 2 good games, and you've got Ramon at the helm of that. I think there's every chance. I think one we haven't talked about yet: Caledonia Gladiators versus the Cheshire Phoenix. A repeat of what has already been an epic game. They've really closely matched. These 2 teams have been inseparable the entire season long.
Yeah.
There's one thing that goes against Caledonia in this, and that is that the Knicks have got a revenge kind of angle on this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100% agree. And you see, Larry Austin will bring that same intensity. Miller brings that intensity. Jamal brings that intensity.
Yeah.
And you're just like, they're 3 guys, and there's no reason clearly to see why they're top of the league in terms of like steals. They bring that into playoffs. That's you're potentially looking at 10 points a game on that alone. They're another ones you have to question their depth, but they've played 3 games this week and come out of them 2-1.
Yeah. Well, this is the other thing. What's the Caledonia? What's going on there? Tape back or? I
don't know. I genuinely have no idea.
It would make sense to rest him for the playoffs. So you don't need him, until that starts. You're already secured 4th, but it's whether or not he comes back. If he doesn't come back, I don't know.
And that's where this just tells you how good a pro as well Ali Hodgic is. Like, he's come in late on the back of Ali Fraser being injured. We've then got all 3 of them fit for a wee bit. Ali's then foot's cut up again. And then Tappy all of a sudden missing games when I thought he was going to play. So he sat out. He played, what did he play, 7 minutes of the trophy final to give Ali Hodgic a wee rest?
Yeah.
And you're like, he's not played since. So in my opinion, that's a huge miss for us. Again, just what I was saying earlier, like a massive miss for us in terms of what we can then do rotation wise, stretch the floor wise. Like, we've had a team of court on like Sloan, Durham, Malcolm, Onwaz and Bailey. That's been our 5 on court. Average height's probably about 6'3" without a proper big. So
maybe is Cheshire a good matchup with us with like the way that kind of if Will Neighbours fit, he stretches the floor. Like it's good. That would be an interesting matchup. If Farrell stays out of foul trouble, like he's dominated some like top players inside recently. What he did to William Lee up in Glasgow the other week, where he's just spun him and Williams just left standing there. How that wasn't in a play of the week, I do not know. Turned round, spun him, dunked on him.
If he's played more games this season, Ali Hodzic has got to be a shout for team of the season, hasn't he? I don't think he's played enough games. He's not been here for long enough. He's played like 16 games, I think. Yeah, 16 games. But if 10 games more, and he's got to be knocking on the door of team of the season, the way he's played.
I was just like, if he'd been here from earlier, then, well, and what he's done, because if he's been here earlier, he then doesn't have those couple of games where he's getting tuned up to the playing BBLs. I've said it, I think I've said it this before, like you're thinking of a guy that would have been all team, but also in with an MVP shout.
Definitely on the radar, yeah. Definitely on that, around that table, if you like.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Because then
he's
also
got a plate.
Absolutely, he's definitely got a plate at that table. I wouldn't argue with him either if he wanted 2 plates. But he's having to play such a mature game now to not get in foul trouble. Since that Leicester game when he got ejected, he's just showing his absolute basketball IQ.
Yeah.
And regardless of who's his opponent, he's been brilliant.
Ads, my man. How you'd love this? From what I've been just jotting down, Flyers, Giants, and I know Matt from BBL Daily's not going to like this, but we're saying there's a definite chance of an upset there when you look at the caliber of players the Giants have got and the experience, shall we say, over the Flyers. The Flyers have had a great season. Don't get me wrong. But if the Giants were to topple them, they'd be the next in line for the Lions. And there's a lot of kind of narrative to that as well. Lions maybe not the strongest they've been all season. Maybe not the want from some of them, having finished the European campaign. Who knows? But again, over 2 games, over 2 legs, there's definitely a chance.
Well, definitely. I mean, you've got to look at that statistic Josh was talking about before, where the Giants lead the league in offense.
Yeah, scoring. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the Lions, if sussed the Giants out all season. I mean, the first game was super close. Remember the very first time they played? And I was like, they're gonna do this. They're gonna beat them. But the last 2 times I've seen them at Bellevue, they've had the Giants card marked. Now it's whether the Giants can remember what they've had done to them by London and figure out a way through it. Now, if Giants play London, they got to have, he's got better and better throughout the season. They got to have legend out there.
They need a big man. Yeah.
They need a big man because their big guys are a problem. It would help if William Lee was back to sort of, if he was 90% William Lee, we've got a chance. At the moment, I don't know. It's 2 games. I wish it wasn't 2 games. I wish it was 3 games, best of, what we always talk about.
Yeah, that would be much better. Thing. A little series. Yeah.
But, you've got to be looking at the Giants' offensive firing power. And if they can, pull off a big one and then a close one, who knows? It's not easy. It's doable.
It's doable.
It's not easy.
It's good as well to and I'm going to say this and mean it, and I know that there's a heavy bias from me, but it's always good when you step on a court and you've got the best point guard in the league.
Well, I mean, the perfect storm for me, if we were going to make the finals, would be, if we had to play London, would be to play them in the final. 1 game, winner takes all. I think that they've got a.
Unfortunately, that won't happen due to the stupid season.
You would need 7th to beat.
I'm just saying if I had my choice as to how we play London in the playoffs,
it'd be a one-off game.
Final. Yeah.
The second game makes it tougher, doesn't it? The consistency of that Lions team is.
And it depends which way around the games are as well.
True.
You'd want to be.
They'd have preference, wouldn't they? You know.
Well, well, then you do say that, but we've talked all year about the atmosphere at London games. I mean, it's a tense place to play for an away team, Bellevue. You know what I mean? It's loud, and it'll be full to the brim.
It depends who gets the tickets at Lions as well. Whether they give a bunch away to fans that don't really know what's going on, or whether they've got some returning fans who actually know what's at
But we
stake.
say this, but like Giants haven't won for 10 games, home or away. Like Belleville, maybe can be a place where it's tough to play, but they're not winning.
No, but they're taking teams. What I'm saying is that the amount of nail-biting endings that games have had this year, there's more than I remember. I'm telling you.
So they're the exact same as Newcastle, then.
Yeah, it's week in, week out. It's the nail biter, or overtime, or it's just been happening all year, and it's great in terms of keeping bums on seats. But for me, I love a close game, the nail biter, but not every week. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta put your authority down somewhere. You know what I mean?
Fellas, let's thrash out a BTR5 quickly. I'll lead with what Nicholson sent in. He's just suggested Larry Austin Jr., Justin Gordon, Aaron Best, Al Durham, and Patrick Whelan. Grant, my man, do we have any advances on that?
I would swap. Oh no, would I swap? I didn't really see much of Larry Austin, so the only reason, but I've seen his stats, but purely because, you know what? I think I'm actually pretty happy. I would like Jeremiah Bailey in somehow, or Faro Ali Hodgic, because he was phenomenal and such. And also, Faro went off halfway through the first quarter and vomited in a bin, and then came back on and dominated some more. So actually,
LVC, yeah.
Actually,
who are you swapping them out for?
I don't know. Patrick Whelan, maybe. He did do some pretty good things, but I'll swap him out for Ali Hodgic, and I will. You know what? I'd swap Durham for Bailey as well. So I'd go Larry Austin, Justin Gordon, Aaron Best, Bailey, and Ali Hodgic.
But you would go Larry Austin.
Yeah, I'm going to keep him in.
Bailey and Ali Hodgic. Ads, my man, what you got?
Well, I'm putting Ant Roberson forward because once again, double.
Was he the one with the afro?
Yeah.
Oh, the afro alone should get him a shout.
I mean, just on style alone. I mean, God. What was cool on the first retro night? He turned up in this OKC jersey, and I'm like, what jersey is that he's got on? And it was his G League OKC blue.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he ended up giving it to Harry, one of the photographers, who's a huge OKC fan. So
no way.
Really, really cool jersey that.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm such a big Roberson fan, and he played great again this weekend. And I feel bad for him that all his effort has gone into L's. So I'm sticking with him.
Go on then. Who else?
Justin Gordon was spectacular.
Yeah, phenomenal, wasn't he? Yeah.
The other night, so I ain't going to argue with him. Patrick was great, so I'll keep him. I was going to actually put in what's the new lad called? Carrington Love.
Oh yeah, Love. He's really turned it up, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was great. So I was going to put him and Zach Jackson in there as well, and obviously Mark Loving.
Is this a squad of 12 you've picked?
Yeah,
Hang on, we can work it out because I've got to add mine.
Mark didn't have a great game last night, though, unfortunately.
So I will keep Larry Austin, Justin Gordon, Aaron Best, Al Doran, and Roberson. Which gives hang on, I'll add all these up now. I'll write them in as I say them. A couple more things left on this show to go through, by the way. We're almost finished. Stick with us. I just give you a heads up now while I write this one in. At the end of the show, I'm going to ask you for some some team of the season players. BTR team of the season, which means 2 guards, 2 bigs.
Hang on a minute. Did Laurie Austin have a triple-double this weekend as well?
Who? Say that again?
Laurie Austin, did he have a triple-double?
He's in the team, don't you worry.
Yeah.
So we've got Larry Austin. We've got Justin Gordon. We also have Aaron Best. Al Durham makes it in as well. That's 2 weeks consecutive, I think, for Durham.
I didn't even choose him.
No, you didn't, did you? And Roberson makes the cut for this.
Hey, Durham's found his 3-ball the last couple of games, and it's made a massive difference to our offense. Like, it's been phenomenal. It's been such a good hand.
Right, fellas. It's time for us to do some. Well, first of all, let me just plug. We're going to do predictions, but the British Basketball League are running a competition to celebrate community coaches. If you head to the website, it's all there. You can vote for coaches. Unsung heroes, I guess, is kind of the thing for that. Head to the BBL website. Have you guys seen this? Did you? Are you aware of this?
I'm trying to rig it so I win it. In fact, I
forgot
to mention it. I've been meaning to mention it at practice all last week. Actually, I must remember on Wednesday to drop it into practice, or put a couple of links in the group chat, maybe.
Well, it's a really good idea. It reminds me a little bit of when they used to do that segment in. I've not watched Sports Personality of the Year for probably over a decade, but they did used to do that. They used to have an unsung hero, like a community level coach, club level coach that would get recognition, and it feels very much like that. And I'm all for it. That's why we've done a little plug on the show. Head to the BBL's website and have a look on there at how to vote. And there looks like there's a list being of community coaches being assembled on that particular page. But it's good. It's really good. Check it out. That said, predictions, fellas. Shall we? Nicholson sent some through. Bless him. He's still trying to get his little one to bed. That's not a metaphor for penis. His child. He's literally trying to put his Luca. He's become a bit of a celebrity down at Pavilions. Luca. Very popular with the players. Almost as tall as his dad now as well. So he's
sharing clothes before you know it.
Oh, Nicholson.
I thought Paul was wearing Luca's top the other day.
Oh, we digress again, as always. That should just be what I put in the title for the show, really, shouldn't it? Plenty of digressions. Right, we all picked the Knicks, and they got the win over the Scorchers. And then it was Knicks at Flyers, and we all picked... Did we all pick? Hang on, let me just check. No, we didn't. Nicholson went Knicks on that one, so Nicholson's dropped a point there. Sharks, Giants. We all picked the Sharks except for Ads. And obviously the Sharks got the win on that one. We all picked the Gladiators over the Eagles, so we all dropped a bollock on that one. Nicholson was the only one to take the Pats. Nicholson's had a shit week again. We all took the Lions. Pats Knicks was. I thought it was going to be tougher to call than that. Although as soon as the game started, I wanted to change my prediction. But Ads and Grant were the only two picks for the Knicks. We all took the Glads in their win. Myself and Ads. Oh, and Grant took the Riders. Nicholson took the Giants. Good lord. So Nicholson is on. He's on 104 at the moment. 5, 6, 7, 8. 108 for Nicholson. Grant on 114. 21-22 for Grant. Jesus Christ.
What a week.
111 for Ads. He's right up there now. 112, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 119 for me. I'm in touching distance.
What am I on?
122.
Oh, I gained a 1 this week. I gained
You've
1
opened
on.
up a 3-point lead, yeah, an extra point on top. But plenty to play for. Not many fixtures left now, fellas. Could be out of reach for Nicholson, I think, by looking at this. Let's do the first one. Midweek, Gladiators, Eagles. Not a tough one to predict. Eagles, it's a must-win for them, or they're out of the 8th place race. I don't even know where I'm going to go with this one. What's Nicholson done? Let's have a look. This is the best bit about Nicholson mailing them in. We can have a look. Nicholson's picked the Gladiators. Of course he has. He wants Gladiators to win, doesn't he? This isn't so much predictions as what he wants to happen. Grant, you're going to take the Glads, aren't you?
I am 100%.
Ads, what are you going for? Glads or Eagles?
Lads.
Yeah, it's in Scotland. The Gladiators have been very good, but like you say, they've been carrying. They might not need to play for this one. I'm going to go Eagles, you know. So Zag,
Oh, you bastard.
I've got an opportunity to pick one back.
What are the standings in our predictions?
Yeah, hang on. So, Grant's top with 112. I'm second with 119. Ads is third with 111. Nicholson
I'm 122.
108.
You said 112 for me, 122.
Oh, sorry, 122. You're top with 122. 119 is me. Ads you on 111. Nicholson's on 108. Well, I'm zagging on that one anyway.
Can
Next
anyone,
up.
Can
Go
anyone
on.
catch Grant?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
But I've got to pick opposite to him, or fucking.
true.
Which I've done. Could be one. These are the last picks of the season. These are.
Yeah.
Bristol Flyers at home. Surrey Scorchers the visitors. So we all going Flyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just check. Yeah, we're all going Flyers. That's easy enough. Although I'm tempted to zag on that one now, but that could just be madness, couldn't it?
There's plenty of other close games, Pabs.
Yeah, we'll see. Is there though? That's the thing. Is there? Well, this could be a close one. Lions at home to the Patriots. Are we all picking the Lions?
Yep.
Oh, that's a shame. Nicholson picked the Lions.
Did he?
No, of course he didn't.
I was going to say, can he bring himself to do it in typed format?
No, he didn't. He didn't indeed. He's taken the Riders in the next fixture, which of course is Riders at home, Sharks, the visitors. Are we all going Riders, or is this going to be a mix? Ads, my man, what you got?
Riders.
That is going Riders. Oh, crikey. Grant?
Where are you going?
That's not what I asked.
Yeah, but I've gone first before you each time.
That's because I'm trying to pick opposite to you.
I'm going Raiders.
Alright, well, I'm going to have to zag then, aren't I? Come on, Sharks. You've done it once. Can you do it again? Can you pull it out the bag? Make it squeaky bum time for Grant. Last day of regular season fixtures we're on to now. Scorchers at home to Giants. Are we all picking Giants?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we are. Oh, I say we are. Let me just check Nicholson. Yeah, Giants. Then it is what could potentially be the league decider if fixtures go the way I've predicted anyway. Patriots at home, Eagles visitors. Are we all going Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is bad, isn't it? Oh, sugar. Yeah, I'm going Eagles as well. Although theoretically I should go Pats, shouldn't I, if I'm trying to... I'll do that. I'll go Pats. I'll zag on Grant.
This could either be a Pabs walk in the park.
Well, I don't think I can finish. I can't finish lower than second, so I'm safe in second, I think. Sharks at home, Bristol Flyers, the visitors. Not an easy one to call, that. I'm going to go Sharks. Ads, my man.
What was it again?
Sharks or Flyers? in front of the blue curtain. Mind you, the other one's used to a blue wall, so toss up, innit?
Sharks.
Oh, he's gone Sharks.
What's Nicholson gone?
Nicholson has gone Sharks as well. Interesting.
Oh, I think Sharks are going to win as well.
Oh, there we go. Or are you just matching my pick to play it safe? Who knows? Gladiators at home. London Lions are visitors. Are we all picking Gladiators? No, not really. Are we all picking Lions except for Grant?
What are the Gladiators?
London.
We haven't worked out any forfeit through finishes last. Oh, crikey. Nicholson's gone Glads. Does he not realise that the Glads are secure in fourth and don't need to play against them? It's too late now. It's in paper. And the last game of the regular season, tipping off at 5:30, it is the Cheshire Phoenix, who will be taking on the Leicester Riders. Cheshire, the team at home. Adds my man, Knicks or Riders?
Riders.
Nicholson's gone with Riders. I'm just totaling some things up here. So if the Eagles come,
I'm going Riders. If that helps you, Pat.
Well, maybe, but I'm just looking to see if by this stage I've done enough.
You've zagged on at least 3.
I've zagged too many times, perhaps. We differ on 1, 2.
Hey, how class is it on Sunday?
Shit.
2 o'clock start, 3 o'clock start, 4 o'clock start, 5 o'clock start, 5:30 start.
It's good, isn't it? We could be tied, Grant, at the end of this weekend, because I'm picking Riders as well. If I was to zag and that game didn't come up and I'd make those 3 games up, I think I'd. But then, I see if the Eagles doesn't come through.
Don't overthink it.
But I do that. That's what I do.
I know you do.
I don't think the Knicks have got enough depth to deal with the Riders, if I'm honest. There we are. Good. Right. We're going to go and come back one more time. We'll have the quiz and we'll finish up the show. Don't go too far away. See you in a sec. The quiz to find out who plays out or who chooses who chooses which song to play the show out with. It's taken a turn. I've made a resource, a season-long resource of individual game stats. It's taken me a while, to be fair, because I don't have any data stripping code or anything like that. But what I have got is a list of players that have notched up the 10 highest points per game. It's going to be you guys' job to name them. Just realised I've had to extend it slightly. So there's more than 10 names on the board. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 names on the board. Wow, okay. Some players have managed to achieve a high game score more than once, but you say their name and they're off the board, if you know what I mean. So, you got it? Do you understand?
No.
Really? So top 10 single game scorers this season. So in a single game, they may have scored, 37 points.
Right,
Okay.
And I've got a list of 12, maybe 13, I may have counted wrong, players that are on the top of that list. There's so many. I've had to go down the list because there's a number of players that have scored 32. And I didn't want to exclude any. And say these are the because then it just becomes what players am I thinking of, and that's a little bit harder. We'll give you 2 lives because there's only 2 of you. Yeah, who wants to go first?
I thought I heard you say you wanted to go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
Go on then, lads. You can kick things off. Cue the music. Off we go.
Justin Gordon.
Justin Gordon is on that list. He scored 32 points in this last weekend in fixture number 167.
My son, David Sloan.
David Sloan is also in there. Two times. He has the top 2 scores of the season. He scored 37 points earlier on in the season at 36 points.
He's awfully good, that guy, isn't he?
He's not bad, man. Ads, over to you. No strikes yet to anybody.
Taj Green.
Taj Green. Oh, hang on. Taj Green. Taj Green sneaks in there with a 32-point game.
Well played, Adam.
Thank you.
He's snuck in there. Looking at this list, I would have thought he'd scored. Like he'd had a 40-point game. I think he's had a 40 index game, a couple of 40 index games. But obviously he gets like 20 rebounds as well. Grant, over to you, sir. Sorry.
Can I go Dirk?
Dirk Williams is in there 1, 2, 3 times. He scored 36 in one game, 35 in another, and 32.
Pretty good, isn't he?
He scored 35 last weekend or the weekend before. 163 fixture, 163. I've not got those in order, so I'll have a look at that later. But yeah, Dirk is undoubtedly in there. Ads, my man, over to you.
Laurie Austin Jr.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm just double checking.
Oh, is he not on it?
Larry Austin Jr. is not in the top. However many that is, that's more than 10.
I'm surprised at that one,
I
Ads.
thought he had 32 points this weekend.
Unless I've updated it wrong. Let's just check that. Let's cross-reference it. I don't want to stitch you up. Live stats. Cheshire Phoenix game. Larry Austin, 23 points. So you've lost a life. It goes over to Grant.
Ads, I thought he had a belter of a game against us one time when he was 30 points or something. So, what was?
Do you literally go back through every live stat to get these things together, perhaps?
Pretty much. I don't do it on live stats. There's a different format on the. If you go fixtures by championship, still gives you all the numbers you need. Really, it takes it takes a while. Anyway, Grant, my man.
Can I go? I think it was Hamlet against us between Christmas and New Year. The one I was at, Newcastle scored 30 plus points. Can I take Hamlet?
Hamlet is indeed there. I'm surprised he's not. Oh, he is there twice.
Oh.
He's there twice. He's got 34 points and a game where he got 33. So you can have Hamlet. He is off the board. Ads, my man.
Has Decker done it?
Sam Decker is well outside. He's 20 down in the block with 27. The highest he's got is 30. He's only 2 points off that top area, but he's not in it. No, that's a second strike, Ads.
Shit.
Sudden death for you, Grant, my man, to win it all. Give us one to win it all.
I'm trying to think of. I want to end it with a gladiator because it links to my tune request. So did Jeremiah Bailey do it? There was a game he went off. I'm going to go Jeremiah. He scored like 6 or 7 threes or something in the game.
Jeremiah Bailey indeed scored 36 points halfway through the season. He's under Sloan basically. Sloan was 37 and 36. Bailey 36. Dirk Williams got a 36-point game as well. So Bailey indeed. So you will choose the song that plays out. You guys want to see if you can pick the rest? There's only a couple of names left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names left on that list.
William Lee's got to have done it. William Lee?
No, he didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was the guy that scored? Was it against Plymouth? He scored like 30 points in the first half. Who was that?
Oh.
He just scored like 7 threes. I can't remember who. Is that who it was? Am I right, Pabs?
I don't honestly recall.
That's ringing a bell.
Was it?
Has Fletch done it this year?
No, Fletch hasn't done it this year.
Uh-huh.
He'll no doubt be up there when we do assists, though.
Was it Cheshire or Surrey?
So we've got one from Leicester Riders, one from Cheshire, one from Surrey Scorchers, one from Bristol Flyers, three from the Patriots.
Has Hassan done it?
Who?
Rashad Hassan.
Hassan has done it, 32 points.
Mark Loving.
Mark Lovin has done it, yep. 34 points, he's up the top end. So we've got a Flyers player.
Flyers player. Did VJ King do it?
VJ King, 32 points. Anyone get the Surrey Scorcher?
Wang?
No. I do remember this game, and I'm not sure if it's... I need to look up the number. It might be the game you were thinking of, Grant.
Was it someone like Kyle Carey then? Was it not someone that you didn't expect?
It was. I think it was Kyle Carey, and I think he did score like 28 points in the first half against the Pats.
Yeah.
Hit loads of threes. Kyle Carey's in there. What else we got? Two more Patriot players. I think that's it. Oh, no, and a Cheshire Phoenix.
Patriots? Did LVC get 31 that game?
No.
So we talking about, is Antonio still on that list?
No, but it is a former player.
Troy for his game in the trophy?
Troy, 32. No, this is all league. 32 points. His last league game, he got 32 points.
Cheshire?
The Cheshire, there's one more Patriot and there's one Cheshire Phoenix player. The Phoenix player is relatively recent, 154th game, and we're on 168-ish. So it's a few weeks ago.
And it's not Larry Austin.
No, it's not Larry Austin.
Well, it's not going to be Archibald, so it's got to be Miller then, doesn't it?
It's not Miller.
No, not Miller. He's at Bristol. I always get these guys. It's Evans.
Marcus Evans is the guy.
Always get these.
Who's the last player? This would have been good if it had got down to that. Who's the last Patriot? It's the last one on the list, Patriot player. Again, another 112. Well, he was a relatively recent addition.
Oh,
not in the last
then.
batch. Yeah, Ty Gadsden. Ty Gadsden, 32 points earlier on this season. There you go. All right, I will share these stats with you. Not till the season's finished, though, because obviously you'll be able to look at it. You'll be able to look at it for later on. Don't be trying to rip this yourself, fellas, to cheat. I know what you like, some of you. By the way, I'm trying to do as many of the seasons as I can. I'm currently 50 games into last season. So if either of you want to give me a hand with this, you're more than welcome to. No? Good. Don't all jump at once. Right, that's it. We're done. Only a few more... one more week of regular season, and then we'll be talking just about the playoffs and about MVPs. I would like to... Well, first of all, Ads, my man, thanks for coming on. You got anything to plug before we go? Oh, and if you've got a shout for an early shout for team of the season, let me know.
Well, I've got a quick shout out that I want to do.
Yeah, go.
That's just to my good buddy and homeboy, Omar Rauf, who listens to our show weekly from Dubai.
What?
He's been out in Dubai for a couple of years working, and he's out there for a while longer.
It'd be the one that we get listening from Dubai then, because I see that flash. I'm like, where's what?
Yeah, that's Omar, and his lovely family, Caroline and the kids, are at every Giants game, and
nice.
They're just great people. And seeing my buddy last night was amazing. So. Much love to you, my guy.
You got a five early shout for team of the season?
What, in the BBL?
Yeah. What else would it be in?
I was going to say the one that wins it. Team of the season. It's good. Bristol, isn't it?
No, players. 2 guards.
Oh, right.
A couple of forwards and a centre.
I've not got one to hand, but I'm sure I'll be able to provide you one for next week's show, perhaps.
All right, fine. I didn't know if either of you would want to, shout something out. It's all good. Grant, my man, thanks for coming on.
Guys, I've had an absolute ball tonight.
It's been fun.
It's
Isn't it?
11:30 at night, and I'm loving this.
Yeah.
This is
That's
late,
good.
isn't it? I didn't
Josh
realise
added some fireworks at the start. Love that.
He does that.
Now, why else has I got to speak to Josh on this? Yeah, hi. What do you want to ask me? My 5.
Anything to plug in your 5 if you've got a 5?
I did some post-game interviews last night after the Surrey game. Spoke to Lloyd Gardner, Boban. My laptop's about to plug off, so I better charge it. That would have been interesting, just that. So yeah, check that out if you want on Gladcast. It was good post-game. Spoke to young Will Kemp, who came on and then in 4 minutes scored 7 points, including a spin move against, I think it was Josh Steele.
He's a name that I've been seeing as I've been doing these stats, but someone I've not seen play. Yeah.
Yeah, so he probably popped up. People started chatting about him in the Discord last night as well, because obviously it's good seeing such a young guy get involved. So if you want to go hear a proper broad Scottish accent, go listen to Gladcast. I even asked him that question, be like, hey, some of the Americans must struggle to understand you. So, good guy. I think he scored all his points around the bucket with his left hand. It's good to see, and
nice.
Great prospect. And yeah. So my 5, I'm going to go with Decker, Sharma, King.
Are these positional?
Yeah, so Sharma at the centre, Decker and King with 3 and 4. And I'm going to go with, how have I not mentioned a Gladiator yet? I'm going to go Sloan and, who have I not gone with? Good content here, me just thinking. I'm going to go on Sloan and Larry Austin.
I did drop it on you, to be fair. Fair.
Look, it all depends. I would take Ali Hodgic as my 5. It depends on games played. If Sharma's played more games, then take Sharma.
Yeah, he has. Sharma's played more games, I think.
Sharma played at least 20.
Well, you've picked Decker.
That's true. Okay, that's fine. I'm breaking my own criteria. That's fine. That's my 5 for this week. It'll change completely next.
Sharma's played 31 games, yeah. Good.
What's your 5, Pabs?
I was just looking at my 5. Is Ramon Fletcher, Action Jackson, VJ King, Mark Lovin, and Taj Green.
It'd be pretty similar, I think.
Yeah, I got Taj Green at centre. I'm allowed to put him at centre, aren't I? He's huge. I probably have King and Lovin the other way around, but either way, 3 and 4. VJ King and Mark Lovin.
Land of the Giants.
But I only got us to do that just briefly because on Discord channel I'm gonna put up some of those little surveys that we've had running last season to help us pick, but we're not gonna have quite as many names on it. I think we're gonna try and cherry pick a little bit and get the guys to help pick our nominees for the BTR awards. There's going to be a new award, or we're going to change a couple of things around. 6th man's going to be changed to, I think we're going to call it Impact Player. So you can, read into that what you will. Someone like Kimball McKenzie, who's not necessarily come off the bench, but has definitely had spells and impacts on that team. Had games where he's had to come up big and whatnot. I think, should we do most improved or should we leave that? I think we've tried to do that before and it didn't really work. We'll look at that anyway. We'll look at most improved. We're definitely going to do genuine rookie of the year. We'll definitely do MVP, coach of the year. We do defensive player of the year. BBL doesn't. Maybe that will change. Who knows? We'll have a defensive team. We're going to have 2. We've done one team tonight. We're going to have a first team and a second team BBL. Which obviously we don't normally, but we can do. Yeah. I don't think we do normally, do we? Maybe we do. I can't remember. But we'll certainly look along those lines. And we've got a new award as well. We're going to do, because obviously MVP traditionally is regular season. We're going to do the Ultimate MVP award and look at the criteria for that. For example, the team must have made potentially semi-finals of the trophy and the cup maybe. And obviously top half of the table at least, maybe 4th. Or league finish. We're going to look at that as a postseason thing maybe and come up with that after the playoffs, of which we're all going to try and head to, aren't we, fellas?
Yep.
Hooray! Game on.
Need to remember to do my accreditation. I was like, oh, I've done it all. Got my flights booked.
Yeah, I've done all. You've booked your flights first. Yeah, good work. It's not that far away now. It's like 4 weeks away. It's not far away.
It's a month, yeah.
Not long at all. I wasn't going to rant because Nicholson was going to come on and Josh was going to come on. And Grant's shaking his head. But fuck's sake, can BBL sort something out with the commentary? Because there's so much fucking rumours going on. It's really pissing me off. They're all going to be doing it from a cupboard somewhere in London and no one's going to be at any live games. But it'd be nice to know. And I know Nicholson's reached out to various people that haven't got back to him. Yeah. So, and there's some American guy on comms apparently soon. So he's going to be a new to the BBL. But yeah. That'd be nice. It'd be nice to know what's happening next season because I do enjoy doing it.
And you're very good at doing it too.
Thank you.
Very, very, very good at doing it.
Clearly not good enough. But there you go. That's always another little kick in the teeth, among other things that we discussed today, but we won't talk about that on the podcast. All right, fellas. Thanks for joining us. Grant, my man, what are we playing the show out with?
I want Caledonia. And I think, you know what? I'm not decided whose version yet, but the song Caledonia. You can go with the OG one. You know what? OG Caledonia.
Who sung that originally?
I don't know. Caledonia.
You're not old enough to know, are you?
Nah, definitely not.
I could rip you off now and just play California.
Yeah. Isn't it the Proclaimers?
What's it?
No,
Dougie McLean, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a Paolo Nutini version on there.
There's also a guy. You know what I want? You know what? Whose version I want? He was the support act for one of the bands I was at last week, and he played it. It was class. But he's a guy, Cammy Barnes, local.
God. Where am I going to find that?
Spotify. Everything's on Spotify.
Cameron Barnes. No, I'm doing it on YouTube. I rip it off YouTube.
Cammy Barnes.
There he is, Cameron Barnes, live from BT Murrayfield.
Yeah. So if that sounds rubbish, don't use that one. If that sounds okay, use that one. Or
Game
go
on.
back to the G one.
I will indeed. Right, fellas, thanks for joining me. Everybody at home, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week when we'll know who's in the playoffs, who's playing who, and we'll start to talk about some BTR awards. And we'll try and work out some sort of bracket as well. Get you guys to put your opinions for bracket. Even though it's fucking hard to do because it's not that hard. Lowest seed plays highest seed every round you go through until obviously you get to the finals. And there we go. That'll be it from us. Until next week, take it easy. We'll speak to you soon.
About where I came from, and that's the reason why I seem so far away today. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Singing Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more sad. Singing Caledonia, you're the best thing I've ever had. And I have moved, and I kept on moving. I proved the points that I needed proving. Lost the friends that I needed losing. Found others on the way. And I kissed the ladies, and I left them crying. I've stolen dreams, yeah, there's no denying. And I've travelled hard with my conscience flying. Somewhere in the wind. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Singing Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. Singing Caledonia, you're the best thing I've ever had. Singing Caledonia, you're the best thing I've ever had.